people say women should only eat yogurt.
Hi guys!
Thank you for coming.
Welcome to Watching You Eat.
I'm Kseniya Yarosh.
I'm Eleanor Kagan, and we host a film podcast called Bonnie and Maude.
We've done a couple of episodes with movies that have to do with food, like When Harry Met Sally, Heartburn, and, you know, the holidays just happened. It seemed appropriate to do a cool show about ladies eating and cooking.
Because we do that a lot. I mean,
I ate earlier today.
Me too!
Several times.
I know, it's crazy, right? So, like, I love food. I love it. I love eating. I love cooking. Food is delicious. It is sustenance. It is social. It's everything you want. Yet, I wonder why I have so many anxieties and hang-ups about food and eating. And I realized it's probably because of all the TV, movies, and pop culture that I absorbed throughout my childhood. I mean, when else...
I don't think it has anything to do with that.
Really? I mean, why else would I be thinking about whether I have the cool or the uncool lunch in elementary school? And for the record, I never had the cool lunch. Or I'm thinking about being so self-conscious when I'm eating in front of a date. So we decided to do this show to sort of explore all these anxieties we have about food and hopefully break them down a little bit.
So this will be a therapy session.
We're all gonna cry and eat our feelings by the end.
So I don't want this to be a sort of men versus women, women versus men sort of thing, but I do remember this one scene in Last American Hero with Jeff Bridges where he just like peels open an orange and stuffs it in his face. And I remember really liking that because for him it was just a prop. It was like this funny, weird little touch. It didn't have anything to do with the scene. But I feel like when women eat in movies, it means something more. Like if a woman stuffs an orange in her face, is she on a diet? I don't know.
Yeah, food in film and TV for women is always this symbol of their emotions, of their sexuality, of their health, of their seduction. And through our research, we have found that women eating on screen tends to fall into 4 categories. And they are...
There's sadness.
Eating your feelings.
Joy.
An indulgence.
Sexuality.
Seduction.
Or every once in a while, comedy. I feel like starting with early images of food in cartoons, food is confusing, scary, you know, it has the potential to kill us.
Change us, make us grow enormously.
Uncontrollably,
in places we don't want to grow enormously.
And then eventually we grow up and we start watching rom-coms where the woman is allowed to eat, but it's generally in a date setting. So, you know, she's not really hungry, she's just there to get to know the guy, you know? That's just part of the social process.
Yeah, food facilitates the romance.
And when women are allowed to love food, it's generally the slightly chubbier or more red-headed sidekick of the main character.
So in our first clip that we're going to show from Where Else? Sex and the City, food to Miranda, who's, you know, the best friend sidekick, food represents loneliness and singlehood, and she's in her studio apartment having this love affair with cake that she cannot seem to break up with.
I love that cookie that says I love you.
And she is so sad and lonely and single, and her only boyfriend is cake.
Aww.
And this is apparently how we should feel about it.
When we see leading female characters eating, they're generally quite thin. Even in Shallow Hal, a movie about Jack Black falling in love with a 300-pound woman, the only time we see her eating, she is seen through the perspective of Jack Black's view of her as thin Gwyneth Paltrow. So it's sexy when she orders a double cheeseburger or eats half a cake, because we don't actually have to see a bigger woman consuming the food.
Yeah, so her ability to eat a lot is this superpower, but it's this catch-22 because it's very sexy when a fit woman can put a lot away, but that's not really the experience of most women.
And when we actually see a bigger person on screen, it's either tragedy or comedy. It's as if they're not allowed to be just a normal person. You know, in What's Eating Gilbert Grape, her obesity is sort of the downfall of the family. And then the other instances, it's, you know, it's a person wearing a fat suit. Like, if we actually saw a bigger actress playing Monica's part or the wife in Norbit, we would feel weird and sad about it, right?
Yeah, we would have a harder time laughing at them.
But, like, what's the difference? Because it's still a fat character. It's weird.
And so all of this leads to a lot of food neuroses, and I think that that's what, you know, I personally am guilty of, and maybe some of us here are as well. Food neuroses is constantly being conscious of what you're eating, what you're putting in your body, and in the movies it tends to happen a lot in high-pressured jobs, and jobs where you're supposed to look your best, like in the fashion industry, in Devil Wears Prada, or in Showgirls, brown rice and vegetables are very important to keeping your figure. Or in Clueless, where she feels like a heifer from eating a handful of popcorn. Mm-hmm.
So fat women are mocked, thin women are mocked. Like, how are we allowed to eat? How are we allowed to, like, what weight is okay?
Most immediately, there's going to be some things that you're going to be able to get that other people in the office don't get. One of them, gym membership.
You want me to lose weight?
I don't want you to lose weight.
No, we can't legally ask you to do that.
We didn't say lose weight. I might say tighten.
Tight.
A little tighter.
Just like toned and smaller.
Don't make everything smaller. I don't want to generalize that way. Tighter.
We don't want you to lose weight. We just want you to be healthy.
Okay.
You know, by eating less.
And then we wanted to talk about some famous characters from television. Of course, there's the Queen of Neurosis.
So Carrie Bradshaw, she's like the modern every woman, supposedly, and she eats very little as part of her very waifish lifestyle.
Yeah, everything she eats is small, feminine. It's like brunches, cupcakes, cigarettes, Cosmos. She is small, and so is her food.
I have a little bit more appreciation for our friend Hannah Horvath from Girls. She's like the new every woman. Her relationship to food is a little bit more open in that she likes it, as is her relationship to her body, which is not Carrie Bradshaw-esque, and she likes that too. But in Girls, food represents money, power, and freedom. So in the first episode, her parents essentially tell her she's being cut off while she's horsing down really expensive spaghetti. And then by the end of the season, Horsing down. Your parents didn't tell you were horsing down food when you were a kid?
No.
Is that just me?
Yeah.
All right. Use it. So she's eating cake on the beach alone after having been dumped and having been robbed. So food isn't necessarily the freedom and the privilege that she was hoping it would be.
Then there's, of course, Gilmore Girls. The lead characters are known for their love of junk food. It's sort of a bonding experience for the mother and daughter, and they love it. You know, they enjoy eating happily on screen. Melissa McCarthy is also on the show, and I appreciate that even though she's bigger, she eats junk food, but she also has a garden and eats healthy. There's no judgment in terms of thin or bigger women and what they eat.
Yeah, a pretty positive example.
Seinfeld, of course, well known for their many food references. This is an awesome graphic that I found online. And I think my role model in terms of eating on television is Elaine. She's so great. She's an equal with the men. She goes to the diner, she eats sandwiches, salads, soup, jujubes. It's really refreshing because, you know, she doesn't diet, she just eats like a human.
I'm a star, I'm on top, somebody bring me some ham!
Should we play it again?
I kind of want to see it again.
I'm a star, I'm on top, somebody bring me some ham!
So I think my role model of food eating on screen is definitely Liz Lemon, even though she's like a complete paradox to me. Because on one hand, she is this like awesome, powerful woman at the head of this show. She has all these people working for her. She's kicking ass, but she's also, you know, we're told to look at her as this like complete mess.
Yeah,
she's supposed to be like
she's
really
considered
unattractive.
frumpy.
Yeah. And so her relationship to food kind of makes me feel like it's like a regular person's relationship to food in that she eats, although she takes it to this crazy extreme because she's kind of grotesque when she does it. I mean, here she is shotgunning a pizza. And I personally have never done that, but I'm not opposed to trying it. It looks pretty great. But so Liz is like also this like asexual character, and that's like one of the many problems in her life. And she kind of attacks food as a way to get out her sexual frustration. Only the foods she's eating aren't necessarily like sexy foods. So she's like eating greasy hamburgers and like really
Sandwiches.
crunchy chips. Yeah, enormous sandwiches. She's got lettuce in her hair. So she takes this trope of like women eating food as a means to seduction to this awesome extreme.
Yeah, I love Liz, but sometimes she grosses me out.
The best of us do.
And women eating is sexy, isn't it? We can't resist it, especially when they eat long, drippy, weird.
Messy sausages,
Yeah.
bananas,
Yeah.
ice cream, anything drippy.
Yeah.
Anything that you can like rub on things. Not speaking from
far.
experience.
Hey, Ronnie,
Yes?
got any hot fudge?
Yes.
Yeah? Can I have a vanilla sundae with hot fudge? And, sprinkles. Rainbow, not chocolate. And, whipped cream, cherries, and,
Nuts?
So as you can see, a woman eating a hot dog is always sexy. Always. I can't deny it.
And so it's no wonder we have such crazy hang-ups about food, because women's body parts, like men's body parts in the last slide, are constantly being compared to food, as if our bodies are something to be consumed.
Yeah, I feel like from an early age, you know, the sugar and spice and everything nice, like a lot of girls' clothing, a lot of our beauty products are sort of food-based. It's almost as if we're supposed to taste and smell edible.
Right, and so by the time we're adults, when we eat, it's almost like we're eating parts of ourselves, and it's wrong and taboo and frankly kind of cannibalistic.
Look at how big mine are today. They almost look real. It's filled with pudding. Pudding? The wormers actually gave me the idea. Jello was too jiggly. Pudding has a heavier, more realistic texture. What flavor is it? It's vanilla.
Just a fun tip we wanted to share with you.
Yeah, taught to me by when I was a little girl, because that was our favorite slumber party movie, Now and Then.
Possibly taking advantage of women's anxiety about food. Men sometimes use it to seduce women. It's almost as if by allowing a woman to eat freely in front of him, you know, he frees her and she feels thankful and might have sex with him.
As a reward.
Sure.
So on that note, we're going to leave you with this clip, maybe the greatest seduction scene involving food of all time. And after that, we'll be back with our first presenter.